Alright, today I'm going to do a video on the latest toy I picked up. I picked up this one for me, and I plan on keeping it. And if I let it go, it's going to take crazy yellow table money, meaning an obscene amount of money for me to let this go. So just putting that out there. Don't make me offer for this unless it's crazy, okay? This is a Hygain Footwarmer made by Hygain. It's two tube. It uses two 8908s, which are kind of a unique tube. It's like an M2057, but it's in a octal socket, like that plastic 8-pin heavy duty pins socket, like an audio tube. And these tubes are hard to find, and they're inexpensive if you can find them. That's the 8908s. And look at that, it has original high gain in them. And then I recapped it, you can see there. It had original caps in it. Haven't finished cleaning it out and all that yet. On the front you got the on-off switch, and I guess this one didn't work. So whoever modded and played with it, I hate people that deface amp or radio. But anyway, since this on-off switch wasn't working, they installed this here, and that's the on-off switch. You got a transmit standby, power out light, that green light there, pretty bright, covering it up. I don't think that's factory either, that big long green light there. A small output meter, and then AM, FM, SSB switch. And all that does is add a delay to the relay. It doesn't change the bias or anything like that. I've seen very few amps, at least tube amps, where going from AM to SSB changes the bias. Anyway, that's the insides of it. Great big transformer for a little two-tuber. And with hot tubes, this thing will do 350 out of them with them 8908s. But this one has just average, or maybe even a little weak tubes in it. And again, them tubes are hard to find and expensive. And on the back, we just have the fuse, coax in and out. And then you do have a operate tune switch, which is basically a low side, high side. Tune is the low side, operates the high side. And if you got an amp and it's not tuned up, put it on the low side first, low drive, and then tune it up. And then after you get it tuned, you raise the drive and keep retuning as you go up. And this one has a drive control, basically a dead key. And it works similar, you know, to what a JB12 or a modulator, because this is a modulator type amp. Screen has the screen, and it's grid driven and negative bias. And that drive control changes the bias, and it can dead key anywhere from like half a watt all the way up to like 75 watts out of them two tubes. But you know, I'm a guy who likes swing and low dead key, so I got that bias controlled for it to dead key about 20 watts on the high side, give or take. And then inside, you know, that's just the relay control board there. And let's see if I can zoom in. That there tuner there is the input tuner. This amp does have a adjustable input tuner there, and that's that. And then another unique thing about this crazy amp is that over here on this side, that's your tuning load. As you can see on the other side of that, that's your tune cap, that small air variable there. And somebody keep asking about coils and, you know, tuning on an amplifier. Almost all CB amps use about 4 turns of coil, give or take. And this one, the coil is pretty small, so it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns. You know, because it's a smaller coil. But on average, almost all CB amps only need about 4 turns of a good sized coil. And that should get you somewhere in the ballpark. You see these ham amps with, you know, 20 turns or 40 turns of coil and all that. Those are for the ham bands. And normally, if you got an amp this, you know, got all them ham bands in it, or those upper meters, you can take all them out or bypass them or strap them and just use 4 or 5 turns of coil, usually for 10 meters or 11 meters if somebody's gonna do that. And then again, that's your tuning load. The air variable here would be the tune, and that trimmer cap right there would be the load. Normally you're going to see the bigger caps with the wide gap area is going to be your tune, because the tune cap is the one that is going to get hit by the most voltage. So it's going to need, you know, the wider gaps to handle the voltage. A tune cap is going to get hit by the full plate voltage. Well, not really, but yeah, plate voltage potential. How about that? And then the load cap is going to be about half or a quarter the plate voltage potential. So the load cap doesn't need to be have a wide gap, or it's not going to take a lot of voltage. So almost all amps, you'll see the tune cap is going to be wider space, and the load cap, even if it is an air variable instead of a trimmer, is going to be closer space. But anyway, I guess I've talked enough. Amps on standby. I got the trusty Tram D201 in line, and this is my swinging tram. So gonna key it down on the dummy load. I think I got everything ready on the MFJ watt meter calibrated to a bird, and I'm just dead keying 1.5 watts. Audio. Only swinging about 4 watts, what it's showing, but this amp is knocking some of that back. You know, I had another question on Facebook talking about, you know, I put, you know, 4 or 5 things in line and I keep, you know, losing watts out and all that other stuff. Well, there's a reason for that. You know, if you see, you know, the coax coming in, you know, the coax going out into the relay here, and then it's another coax out, you know, through the circuit board and then out the relay there. And also, if you notice, there's a small cap, you know, connected to that input there. And other stuff. So, you know, all that stuff is interfering with, you know, your watts going straight through. So you put a lot of stuff in line, and most of it is like, you know, goes through different coaxes and boards and relays and all that. It's gonna knock it back. That's just the way it is. It's just not your, you know, PL259 connection that some people say. Put some ends on there. No, I'm not one for that. Ends are good connectors, but again, your radio or signal, it's going through, you know, those small coaxes there. Some of them just have a piece of wire instead of a coax. And this is a very, you know, well-built amp. That's why I said I'm keeping this one. And, you know, you're going into the relay and back out the relay and into the board and all that, and then back out. You're going to lose some stuff. And you put, you know, 3, 4, 5 things in line, you're going to start losing a lot of watts, and your SWR is going to go up too. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with the antenna, but you start going through all that crap and connecting, you know, sniffer caps, you know, to key the relay up and all that. That's in line all the time. You know, whether you're using an amp or not or off, that's still, you know, stuff connected, still going through them wires in the relay and all that. You're going to lose watts. So anyway, and that's why I'm losing watts on this tram. I probably could retune it, but the tune and load of the tram is in the back, and I ain't pulling it out to do that. So anyway, not a whole lot of watts going into this little Hygain, but it doesn't need a whole lot. Again, it's a modulator swinging amp, and I think it'll like that low dead key. So anyway, I'm gonna take it off standby, and let's see. We're gonna put it on the low side first, that tune side, and let's go to the 200 watt scale. And we on the 200 watt scale on average, and we did keying about 4 watts. Audio talking about 60, and whistling about 75 on average, mind you. And let's see what it does on peak on the low side. Audio standing at 100 watts peak, and we're gonna put it back on average, and we're gonna put it on the high side. .200 watt scale on high side. Digging about 15. Again, I could adjust that with the drive control in the back. Audio. Swinging about 125 from 15. You know, with a couple watts going into it. And last on peak, well, pinning the 200. So let's go to the 2000 on peak. Audio. Just hanging around that 200, maybe a little bit over. So anyway, that's about it. And then if I had newer, better tubes, I would can push it a little more, but that's fine with me. I like this amp. Very rare Hygain Footwarmer, my last toy. I want to clean it up a little bit. You know, just got it today and was excited to play with it, clean it up, and put it back together. And I'm going to keep this one. All right, that's it for this one. Bye.